Hi there, I'm Brenda Bear and welcome to my little yarny channel about crochet, knitting, and spinning stuff and some dye experiments and yeah, just kind of yarn related things. So if you're new here, hi and welcome, and if you're not new here, hi again and thanks for coming back. And just a big thank you to anyone who has stopped by and check my little channel out, even if it's for a few seconds. So anyway, trying to get to the point. Last week I was on Spring, the Fiber Enthusiast channel for her live spin and chat thing that she does on Thursdays. So it's lots of fun, and if you haven't checked her out, you should. I'll put a link thing to her channel below. But anyway, during the live, someone was asking about learning how to spin on a drop spindle and if Spring could teach them how. So she briefly kind of showed how during the live, but she said she would be making some videos like that aren't live videos about learning how to spin on a drop spindle, and her first one is already out today, or from today or last night, I'm not sure. And I had the idea that I wanted to also encourage people to give it a try. It may not be for you, you may not like it, but if you already like yarn, it might be fun for you. So I thought it would be cool to try to encourage other yarny minded folks to give it a try. And even if you don't care about yarn or crochet or knitting or other yarn like weaving and yarn related crafts, that it's still cool. You can make yarn. So I also wanted to real quick blame and give credit to Barbara from Crochet to Light, because if it wasn't for her and a giveaway that had a drop spindle and some wool roving, I wouldn't be here talking about drop spindles, so thank you, Barbara. Okay, so here it is. So this is the spindle that I wanted to give away, I want to say probably a couple years ago now. Over a year ago, probably 2 now. Anyway, this is the spindle I got. It's real simple, but simple in this case is good and it works. So this is just a wooden dowel and a wooden wheel, like craft wheel that you can sometimes find in craft stores and hardware stores. At least my hardware store has stuff like that. And basically, oh, and the other thing is like, okay, this is like a craft wheel, but it's actually called, like, this part is called a whirl, and there are top whirl style and bottom whirl style. Drop spindles, there's also, like, this one is a support style one, or you can treat it just like a regular bottom whirl drop spindle. And this one is super cool. I'll talk more about it in a second. Because, oops, my yarn is unwinding, that's okay. It's got this little notch up here where it can be bottom whirl, or it's got the hook up here where it can be top whirl. So, stay. So, this is the first one I started out with. The yarn in it is not perfect because I thought it would be good to show. It's like thick and thin. This is my daughter was practicing with it. She's kind of fallen out of interest, but I thought it was still good to show that in the beginning it's not all consistent. It's thick and thin, and it's just part of the learning process. So when I got this, it didn't have a notch, but to me it helped me, because sometimes If you see, it's just kind of sliding around, but the notch kind of, well, when I'm not yanking on it like hard, but little, I don't know if you can see it, see a little notch, kind of helps it keep from, kind of keeps it in place while you're spinning instead of it kind of coming loose. Does that make sense? And then you got this weird funkiness. So I added the notch in. Not all of them have that notch, but it helped me. And I want to direct people over to Spring's channel again, specifically for learning how to spin. I know I kind of showed a little bit, but she explains it a lot better than I can, and I feel like it's kind of redundant if I explain everything that she will. So you should go over to her channel and check out her first video on learning the basics on how to spin with a drop spindle. So thought I would mention that right away before I get too deep into trying to explain some of the basics. But this is the first one that got me sucked into spinning. And there's also videos out there on, because the spindles aren't too expensive, but you can even make a drop spindle out of a pencil and some clay, or pencil and old CDs and a couple rubber bands and a paper clip. So there are videos out there on how to make your own. I'm planning on making at least one video on my attempt to make a drop spindle out of some household things like that I have. I have some clay, like the bake in the oven type clay, that I wanted to give a try because I don't need another spindle, but I thought it would be fun to make one myself. So that will be a video that I am working on. So where I go on. Okay, so this is my first one. It's kind of special because it was my first one, even though it's simple. It's special. Okay, so the next one I got is this one, and this is the top whirl style. It's got a little hook. Not all spindles have this little hook thing, depending on whatever end it is. But this one I really liked because I can do it either way. And so if it's the bottom whirl way, this one has a little notch right here, and so I kind of like make a loop around my thumb and then pop that on there. Oopsie, like that. And it kind of catches, and now you have a bottom whirl style drop spindle. So I'm not the best with the drop spindle, even though I have spinning wheels, and a lot of people say that it's easier to learn how to spin with a drop spindle first. I kind of take that with a grain of salt, because I found that after I got a spinning wheel, it was much easier for me to have the spinning wheel where I could use my foot to keep the twist going instead of having to stop, and then I have both hands free to deal with drafting out the fiber. So if you want to learn to spin, you don't have to start on a drop spindle, is what I guess I'm trying to say. And again, go check out Spring's channel if you want to learn the basics. But real quick, you can, like, I started out with the park and draft kind of method where you spin it and then you kind of park it between your knees, like I'm standing right now, so, or under your arm, and then since there's a bunch of twists built up in here, you can gently draft or pull out some fiber, and the twist will travel up that length. I didn't quite have enough in there, so I'm gonna spin it again so it doesn't come apart. And the twist basically is what holds the fiber together and keeps it from drafting out so thin that it falls or drops. So ta-da! And so if you need to then add more twist, I'm parking it under my arm for now because it's easier to show this instead of. So if you can kind of see, I'm gonna draft this out. This isn't the best piece of wool to show with because it's kind of matted together, but and sometimes I kind of cheat and give it a little help, and then once you're got quite a bit of length, and do the little part on the hook or notch and wind it on. But so I'm gonna go back here to the way I was doing it, and this one has a nice notch in it if you can't tell, and so I just go back up, wrap around the hook, and I'm ready to add more twist and draft out. Sometimes I'm a little slow, so I have to spin it again. I guess you can't even see what's going on. Sorry. So yeah, that was why I was go over to Spring's channel, and she will show you much more clearly on how to get started. So that's, whoops, I'm screwing up, but there we go. Okay, so ta-da, and yeah, this one is the third spindle I got, and it's kind of different because you can use it like bottom whorl drop spindle style like I showed you, or you can do it supported. So there are some spindles that you use like a little spinning bowl, just a little cup like bowl thing, and you still kind of do the same thing, but it's not hanging, it's like sort of dangling from, you know, the fiber supply, but it's supported and you don't have the dropping so much, because if you get it out too thin, for example, you can draft, and then it comes apart because there's no twist in it. And with the supported spindles, especially when you're doing really, really fine stuff, so I've heard, I haven't really tried it that much, so I try not to talk out my rear end, but it's less weight on the bit of fiber, so it won't break and drop like that because it's supported. So anyway, that's my video on trying to encourage you all to take a look at learning how to spin and maybe give it a try. So if you're still here, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful whatever it is when you watch this. Take care. Bye.